Welcome to the news at 10 on Nta News24. We are live in Abuja. My name is Frama Pani. The headlines. DSS releases NLC President Joe Ajaero after hours in detention. INEC accredits 104 media organizations to cover Edo governorship elections. Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology moves to dismantle barriers against traditional medicine.
Mr. President has challenged me to commercialize our research results, and I am reviewing and approval will soon be granted for the commercialization of our 15 products.
Federal government intensifies crackdown on illegal mining operations. And now the news in full. Nigeria Labour Congress has confirmed release of its president, Joseph Ajaero, from detention. NLC Head of Information, Benson Opa, says Ajaero was released Monday night after hours of detention by the security agency. NLC president was picked up by the DSS at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, en route to the United Kingdom to attend a trade union congress. Meanwhile, NLC has summoned an emergency meeting of the National Executive Council today to address the issue. A Nigeria Union of Pensioners is asking for equal rate increment in the implementation of the new national minimum wage of 70,000 naira for all workers and pensioners. President of the union, Godwin Abumisi, made the demand while briefing newsmen in Abuja. Joseph Otsen reports.
President Bola Tinubu signed the new minimum wage bill into law to uplift living and working conditions of Nigerian workers. And as aging retirees, Nigerian pensioners are reminding authorities that implementation should cut across board, including upward and equal review of pension of the retired workers.
That is to say, if the minimum wage for the workers is increased by 110%. The same rate of increment should be used to adjust pensions, as it is an incontrovertible fact that all categories of wage earners are in the same ship navigating stormy waters.
With most of the pensioners aging and without sources of income, nursing health challenges and taking care of other responsibilities, they see themselves in the most vulnerable category of people in the country and should attract special attention and not marginalization. In Abuja, Joseph Oten, NTA News.
Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, commends the $1 billion new iron ore to steel project planned for Kogi State as a breakthrough in the federal government's campaign to make local value addition the model of development in the solid minerals sector. Addressing the promoters chart and Capstone Integrated Limited of Nigeria and Sinomach HE of China on the sidelines of FOCAC, Alake pledges cooperation of federal government with the promoters to ensure delivery of the project as fast as possible. He said federal government has reversed the pit-to-port policy under which mining companies exported raw materials to extraction with local value addition, which is the best guarantee of jobs for the youth, skills transfer, better balance of trade between the country and her trading partners. Alake notes that to promote local value addition, he has announced that applicants for licenses to mine must disclose plans for processing the raw minerals as part of the condition. And in a bid to address water and electricity challenges, Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nta has signed 2 memoranda of understanding with 2 Chinese private firms for the lightening up of the FCT using solar power and ensuring rural water supply. The signing of the documents with the 2 Chinese companies in Beijing, China, is the fallout of the summit on the Forum of China-Africa Cooperation. Nta reports.
In line with the city master plan, only few districts and satellite towns within the nation's capital are enjoying potable water. The ongoing Greater Abuja Water Supply Project is one way of addressing water challenge, especially in satellite towns and rural communities. It is against this background that the FCT Minister Nta signed this memoranda of understanding with Chinese firms to embark on selected projects expected to be delivered in record time to mark the 50th anniversary of the creation of the FCT. The minister says the president has given him a mandate to ensure adequate water supply in the satellite areas of the FCT, which is also contained in the MOU signed.
Of course, you know what we call Greater Abuja Water, which is being handled by the CGC group. And that has been awarded for some years. But by the grace of God, they have now up to 70% completion. We believe, by the grace of God, by this December or thereabout, they would have completed it. But Mr. President, in his way, said, look, you can't only provide for the cities. You also have to talk about the satellite towns, the rural area, the area councils. And so we came up with this idea that, look, that the need to have satellite town water supply in Gwagwalada, in Kwale, and Kuje. So we're able to sign that memorandum of understanding with CGC for them to carry out this assignment.
The minister reiterates his administration resolve to meet the yearnings and aspirations of the residents by lightening up the nation's capital city, which will be 50 by next year. Responding, the heads of the Chinese firms expressed their appreciation for the confidence reposed in them to execute the project, while assuring the minister of quality and timely delivery of the projects.
This project is a trail project for this FUCAC spirit. Regarding this project, it is benefiting the people's lightening or the waters. It's really the social benefit project.
On the minister's entourage were the Permanent Secretary Treasury, Executive Director, Rural Water and Sanitation Agency, Director of Procurement, and other senior officials of the FCTA. Nta News.
The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, D.D. Esther Wilson-Jack, has called for stronger collaboration among federal permanent secretaries to accelerate application of the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan 2021 to 2025. This is at the inaugural retreat for federal permanent secretaries with the theme Accelerating Public Service Reforms Towards Effective Service Delivery. Haman Jamani reports.
Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, D.D. Esther Wilson-Jack, highlighted Permanent Secretary's critical role in bridging policy formulation and execution while urging them to align their operations with the objectives of the FCC 25 to ensure effective implementation and uphold the principles of good governance, as it is not just a document but a strategic roadmap that will shape a more efficient, accountable and citizens-focused public service. Commending the permanent secretaries for their dedication to maintaining the service values and standards, the head of the civil service encouraged them to see themselves as custodians of institutional knowledge, tasked them with serving Nigerians with integrity and impartiality,
as well as training and development programs to enhance civil servants' skills and competencies. We must address the challenge of engaging and retaining the nation's brightest and best. The civil service must be a magnet for talent. We must offer an environment where excellence is rewarded, innovation is encouraged, and everyone feels their contributions are valued and impactful.
Walshin Jack also highlighted the importance of embracing the core values of accountability, meritocracy, professionalism, loyalty, and efficiency as the foundation of their leadership, and called for unity and commitment to the reform agenda, as it is a testament to the integral role of the permanent secretaries, stressing that their dedication and effort are crucial to ensure that the civil service meets current expectations and evolves to better serve the Nigerian public. Hamman Jabani, Nta News.
And federal government says it is taking significant steps to dismantle barriers against traditional medicines by commercializing local herbs. This move, championed by the Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency and unveiled by Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology Uche Nnaji in Abuja, promises to bridge the gap between traditional practices and modern healthcare. Olusheye Adiabo reports.
It is widely accepted that traditional medicine could make significant contributions to the attainment of universal health coverage. The advances in science and technology are helping many countries, including Nigeria, to elevate traditional medicine. The Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency now boasts of many efficacious herbal products.
To what extent is traditional medicine, natural medicines, herbal medicines, to what extent are they available in our country? And to what extent is the private and public sector, that is both private and government, supporting the large or commercial production of traditional or indigenous medicines in Nigeria? Is when you have that well established that you can begin to talk about regulatory mechanism.
While funding and collaboration are critical to unlocking the full potential of Nigeria's natural medicine, the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji, has also called for an establishment of a national clinical trial committee with a multi-sectoral representation.
With about 80% of Africa's population relying on traditional medicine, its role in healthcare is crucial. I urge the private sector to support NMDA in sustainable production through its medicinal farms. Mr. President has challenged me to commercialize our research results, and I am reviewing, and approval will soon be granted for the commercialization of our 15 products.
The Nigerian traditional medicine system has an equally strong tradition and plays an important role in Nigerian healthcare. I believe that both our countries can come together to synergize and to learn from each other.
These key players committed to the cause of using traditional medicine towards advancing healthcare expect leveraging indigenous knowledge, resources, and expertise for sustainable production. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, Nta News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Let's take a break now. More reports when we return.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the breathtaking scenery of the plateau, in noonday and nighttime, we set out to bring to you captivating stories that evoke your emotions. For fascinating documentaries and reports on day-to-day issues with expert analysis, tune in to NTA News 24, DSTV Channel 419, GoTV Channel 26, StarTimes Channel 101 and 433, and Free TV Channel 703.
Welcome back. Now it's barely 11 days to the Edo governorship election, and INEC says 114 media organizations have been accredited to cover the exercise. The 114 media organizations have successfully uploaded the details of 721 personnel statement by the INEC National Commissioner for Information, Sam Olumekun, assures all accredited media organizations full access to voting and collation locations, and appealed to reporters to abide by codes of professional ethics. the law and the Commission's regulations and guidelines in their reportage and observe processes and procedures before, during and after the election. And the governing All Progressive Congress APC has postponed its caucus and National Executive Committee NEC meeting earlier slated for September 12, 2024 indefinitely. A statement issued by the party and made available to the public did not give reason for the postponement, but such high-level meetings are always subject to the President's approval. APC says new dates for the 2 meetings of the highest organs of the party will be communicated in due course. And now Operation Whirlwind, which is coordinated by the Office of the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, has the mandate to secure border communities and combat smuggling of petroleum products 3 months after commencing operations. Key players in the Operation Whirlwind have met to assess its operations and re-strategize. Kunle Adeyeye reports.
Whirlwind is visible at every point of entry nationwide, primarily to counter smuggling of petroleum products, and defaulters are already feeling the heat. The operations chief assessor, Nuhu Ribadu, though satisfied with the feedbacks he is getting, still wants more breakthroughs. The Nigeria Customs Service highlights the success of the operation, but pinpoints some factors as major hurdles.
We are here to advance the cause of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that has identified the economic regeneration of Nigeria, the repositioning of Nigerian economy, and the oil sector is indeed very, very important for this noble objective.
There are a lot of challenges that happen. I didn't want to bore the whole house with all those things. Just last week, the vehicles of our patrol officers of the command, they were completely smashed by smugglers. But when you are starting off a thing like this, we expect it.
After extensive deliberation, other active players are categorical that the action must be sustained to stabilize the economy.
In our continuous collaboration, we are actually part of the Operation Whirlwind, and we are providing all the necessary support and data.
In the course of the onslaught, goods worth more than 470 million naira have been confiscated. Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
The Nigerian Navy and Cross River State government have agreed to work together to commence hydrographic survey of the few Bakassi Islands in Nigeria's territory to drive economic growth and prosperity in the region. Defense correspondent Nta News24 reports.
Support for offshore investments, port development and security for national oil assets and platforms provided by the Nigerian Navy informed the meeting with Governor Basio II, where emphasis is being placed on the need for collaboration to create jobs and stimulate economic growth in the region.
The Bakassi Seaport is something that is almost inevitable if we as a country want to increase our trips and also increase our maritime activities. We already have Lagos ports very congested. We need other deep seaports in the country, and Bakassi Seaport happens to be one of them.
Regional stability in the Bakassi Peninsula and the need for cooperation with Cameroon to address common security challenges also topped discussions in order to bring the proposed Bakassi deep sea port to reality.
Not only can we provide a enabling environment in terms of security, but we can also contribute to the area of hydrographic surveying and other forms of marine services.
The Nigerian Navy and Cross River government have agreed to work together to drive economic growth and prosperity through future joint collaborations. Najaa NTA News.
The federal government has intensified its crackdown on illegal mining operations with a recent clearance exercise carried out by the mining marshals in Kogi State. On 15 July 2024, the mining marshals raided an illegal site in Jaguna, resulting in the arrest of 7 suspected illegal gold miners, and laborers on site were given a directive to vacate the area within 5 days. Rather than complying with the directive, the illegal miners mobilized additional workers and fortified the site with armed protection. This led to the latest operation by the mining marshals to dislodge them. The follow-up action was necessary after the illegal miners also ignored appeals from traditional rulers to vacate the site. This was to allow the licensed mineral title holders access to the area for legitimate operations. For over 16 years, the rightful mining license holders have been unable to access the location due to the activities of armed illegal miners. The mining marshals, operating under the directive of the Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, are tasked with securing the mining environment to boost investor confidence in the sector. Now, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has approved the posting and redeployment of some senior officers, including branch chiefs, air officers, commanding directors, and commanders to enhance operational flexibility, inject fresh perspective, and optimize leadership capabilities. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
Some of those affected are Air Vice Marshal Olasunkami Abidoye, who has been redeployed from the Defense Headquarters to NAF Headquarters as the Chief of Standards and Evaluation. AVM Adeniyi Amesinlola, previously the Commandant at the Armed Forces Resettlement Center, now to serve as the Chief of Transformation and Innovation at NAF Headquarters, and AVM Abubakar Adamu as Group Managing Director of NAFIL Group. Others include AVM Iboro Etukudo, appointed as the Chief of Policy and Plans, AVM Francis Edosa, now the Chief of Training and Operations, AVM Dalhat Ladan as the Chief of Air Intelligence, AVM Sulaiman Usman, now the Chief of Communications and Information System, while AVM Shayo Olatunde and AVM Lanre Oluwatoyin to serve as Chief of Defense Policy and Plans and Chief of Defense Space Administration, respectively, at the Defense Headquarters. Also affected are AVM Ibikunle Daramola, previously the Chief of Communication and Information System, reassigned as the Chief of Civil Military Relations, AVM Abiola Amodu, who served as the Director General of the Air Force Research and Development Institute, now the Chief of Aircraft Engineering, and AVM Patrick Phillips is now the Chief of Logistics. Additionally, AVM Elijah Ibiowe has been appointed as the Air Officer Commanding Tactical Air Command in Makadi, while AVM Sunday Aneke takes over as the new AOC Mobility Command in Yenagoa. Other newly appointed AOCs include AVM Abubakar Abdullahi, now overseeing the Air Training Command in Kaduna, and AVM Adeniro Ademuagun, appointed as the AOC Logistics Command in Ikeja. While congratulating the new appointees, Air Marshal Abubakar reiterated the essence of the redeployment, which majorly allows for strategic flexibility and resource optimization for enhanced operational effectiveness of the NAF. The Chief of the Air Staff also harped on the importance of leveraging deep and critical thinking in profiling strategies for addressing current security challenges. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
And still talking security, the FCT Police Command has paraded one Alhaji Shaibu Shugabadas for offering a bribe of 1,500,000 naira to operative of its State Intelligence Department to release one of the suspected Shiite members involved in the killing of policemen 2 weeks ago. Onotu Yakubu brings us details.
Abdul Karim Ahmed is alleged to be a strong member and financier of the Islamic movement in Nigeria, popularly known as Shiites. He was arrested in connection with the killing of policemen during the sect's attack recently. Shoaibu Shugaba Das, another alleged known member and associate of Abdul Karim, on September 5th approached the command's operatives with the offer of 1.5 million naira to procure his illegal release.
The children come and meet me. They said that, okay, they read the amount of 1.5, so we should go to the police I said, "Oh, what we will do, I can't take this money to police first now till we go to search." I was asked from the Abdul Karim to hear the reality. Is this like that? He said, "No, so this IBO cannot tell us lie now." They were present. Okay, I forgot. The children are his senior brother.
I'm not a finance officer.
So what are you?
Are you a member? Are you a member of the share? The shite? I'm a member. Okay. I'm a member. So you partake in killing of two? I didn't even go out that day.
Commissioner of Police Bennett Igwe describes the intelligence operatives as models of the present police management's anti-corruption drive and commended their steadfastness and professionalism.
Yes, we are using them as models. I have already written my recommendations, and they are going to get their commendation letter very soon. We have many who have given commendations, a lot of DPOs, a lot of tactical team commanders. We have given a lot of them commendations, and they are part of the commendation. They will receive their own soonest.
While both suspects await conclusion of investigation and prosecution, the police reassured residents of commitment to defeat crimes in all its forms in the nation's capital. Onotu Yakubu, Nta News.
This is still the news at 10 on Nta News 24. Another break beckons. Stay tuned.
You know the geography of Nigeria, but we're not a nation. A nation is a group of people with a shared vision.
In many states of the Federation, with a few exceptions, we have only 2 tiers of government. The local government is completely gone.
Insightful, thought-provoking, and engaging.
Those countries that we go to buy refined petroleum products, or technically what we call distillates, are we saying their economic and political leaders are fools?
What you see that is happening in the urban area is not happening in the rural area. There's no balance, there's no holistic or concerted approach to development.
Every development is local. Every underdevelopment is also local. I think what we need is to promote national development.
Good Morning Nigeria, the Nigerian Television Authority's flagship program, brings you all you need to know on current national issues that affect you. With expert analysis from professionals from all fields of endeavor, Good Morning Nigeria is your daily tonic of accurate, fact-based and intellectual discussions on issues that matter to you. Airing every weekday live between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. on the network service of the NTA. Repeat broadcast at 5 p.m. daily on NTA News 24. Don't be left out. You can join us by tuning in to NTA News 24.
Thanks for staying tuned. Let's now head to Maiduguri, where the city is experiencing a flood magnitude which was last seen in 1994. The situation has forced hundreds of families to sleep outside, with many of them seen salvaging what they could of their property. The entire neighborhood around the riverbanks have been affected, with most of them not being able to access their houses. And joining us from Maiduguri to speak on the situation is our correspondent, Abubakar Musa. Abubakar, good morning. Abubakar, can you hear me? Good morning. Abubakar, if you can hear me, please respond. What is the situation this morning in Maiduguri? We understand that this kind of flood has not happened in Maiduguri before. What can you attribute this recent happening to?
That's true, Frama. The situation is literally terrible in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. A lot of residents whose areas were affected by the flood have remained awake all night, evacuating the belongings or property that they can carry, while those that can't control the water have vacated their homes. However, the state government and other relevant stakeholders are doing all that they can to provide a kind of palliative for those badly affected by the flood.
that is those whose houses have been taken over by the flood. Public primary schools and some government-owned structures have been provided for fleeing residents as temporary shelter. This unfortunate incident is happening after 30 years. In fact, information made available to us indicates that this particular one is worse than that of the one that happened in 1994. The incident can be said to be mysterious because a significant number of Maiduguri residents are compliant when it comes to the issue of adhering to safety measures against flood. In fact, just recently, the Borno State Flood Control Committee, headed by the Secretary to the State Government, has opened up a lot of water channels, in addition to explicitly telling residents to remain on alert against any eventuality. Another stringent measure that the state government took was it extended the resumption of pupils and students to school for this session. As it is right now, commercial activities are grounded, with people around looking hopeless.
See from the footage being played while you were speaking, this flood happened in the night, last night. Can you explain to us from last night to now the extent of damage, how bad the situation has been, what has, any deaths, casualties, so far recorded?
The truth of the matter is we cannot have access to areas that have been badly affected by, the flood. But we were able to talk to some of our colleagues and residents within Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, and its environs, and they told us that they cannot ascertain if there is a death for now. But properties worth millions of naira have been, destroyed due to the flood.
So for that update, and while you are on the scene, please do stay safe. We will continue to come back to you for more updates. You keep updating us with recent development. Thank you so much. Now, latest report from the National Bureau of Statistics reveals that Nigeria's company income tax (CIT) collection from the second quarter of 2024 rises by 150%. Details with Alika Opanachi Arua on Business News.
The federal government's income tax (CIT) collection in the second quarter of 2024 rose by 150.83% to 2.47 trillion naira. In the first 3 months of the year, company income tax (CIT) collection stood at 984.61 billion naira. According to the report, local payments in the period under review amounted to 1.35 trillion naira, while foreign CIT payments contributed 1.12 trillion naira. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, the agriculture, forestry, and fishery sectors exhibited the highest growth rate at 474.50%, followed by financial and insurance activities at 429.76%, and manufacturing at 114.15%. Meanwhile, the Corporate Affairs Commission has issued a reminder to point-of-sale operators across the country that the deadline for the business registration, initially announced on July 7, 2024, has expired. The CAC expressed concern over the inadequate compliance with the directive despite the large number of POS operators in the country. With Business News, Alika Opanachi Arua.
The recruitment of about 1,600 teaching and non-teaching staff into primary and junior secondary schools in Kwara State has formally commenced as job seekers in their hundreds stormed various local government education offices to submit their applications. Abdul Hafiz Alaya's report is here presented.
Education offices across the 16 local government councils played host to applicants who came to submit their CVs and other necessary documents. True to the promised community-based recruitment approach, critical stakeholders were on ground to monitor the exercise while security personnel maintained orderliness. Expectedly, some centers became rowdy due to unruly conduct of few applicants. The executive chairman of SUBEB intervened and normalcy was restored.
Are you okay? The recording will be done at their level.
Some of our people, they were in haste, and we have calmed them. We tell them that they should be patient.
We started around 9 o'clock on the dot, and it was peaceful.
Soli Olainka, one of the early birds at Ilorin South Center, successfully submitted his application despite the initial challenge.
I have done my own, inshallah, and I wish, inshallah, I will be choosing. We are here to do the exercise for the recruitment under the SUBEB local government, Ilorin South local government. It's going smoothly. The queue is accurate. The security agent is do the arrangement very normal.
I want them to took it as based on merits. That's what we need.
We are expecting the good result, though. Please, and the number they want to collect is very small.
The State Universal Basic Education Board, under the headship of Professor Shehu Rahim Adaramaja, is conscious of the huge number of applicants and will ensure that only the qualified are hired for the jobs.
We thank God that the governor has deemed it right to say he's going to engage 1,611. So from that, now we have seen the situation, we'll give him the report. If there is a way we can increase the numbers of slots, there's no problem. But truly, many job seekers are outside seeking for means of livelihood.
Successful candidates are expected to be shortlisted in no distant time. Now, High Court of the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja has referred to the FCT Commissioner of Police and others indicted in a case of contempt of court bordering on a Supreme Court judgment over leadership of the Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria to the Chief Judge of the FCT following the failure of the prosecution to arraign them before the court. Dr. Alabi reports.
The case has the FCT Commissioner of Police beneath Igwe as complainant and 8 defendants, including Harry Ifrahim Badiwe, Adewale Bashir, Emmanuel Olabode Akin Babalola, Dr. Mujisola Mimiabu, Muhammad Suleiman, Hajara Yusuf, and Ayuba Shanu. They have all been repeatedly absent at the hearings on the suit before the FCT High Court sitting in Abuja under Justice Cyprian Agasheze over a 3-count charge bordering on alleged acts of impersonating Dr. Jamilu Isa Yankwanshi as the substantive president and members of the governing Council of the Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria. 2 court judgments and orders had removed the suspects from the leadership of the CIPMN, while an interlocutory court injunction order from the Federal High Court also restrained the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment from dissolving the CIPMN Governing Council and from appointing Dr. Mojisola Mimiabu as sole administrator of the CIPMN Institute. The defendants are accused of collecting money from innocent Nigerians and issuing them with fake certificates with the name of CIPMN Institute, which they are alleged not to have authority to do so under the law. Counsel to the defendants, Edward Inegbenuse, said he is in court to seek an ex parte motion on the suit, claiming the CP, Bennett Igwe, has not given him clearance to proceed with the arraignment of parties involved. Justice Cyprian Agasheze expressed dismay over the conduct of the prosecution in the case and has adjourned the case sine die after referring it to the Chief Judge of the FCT. Attempts to speak with the prosecuting counsel, Edward Inegbenuse, proved abortive as he declined comments after his appearance in court, while nominal complainant and his counsel speak on the next line of action.
When my lord quizzed the prosecution counsel about his attitude, the way they are prosecuting this case, their unwillingness to prosecute this suspect to the court, he told my lord that the file was retrieved from him by the Commissioner of Police.
I can't understand that a police officer who is supposed to be a law enforcement agency, he is the one now conspiring with those whose criminal charges has been established against them.
Meanwhile, the nominal complainant and star witness in the case, the President, Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria, Dr. Jamilu Isa Yankwanshi, has expressed hope that with petitions served on the Inspector General of Police and referrals by the judge, the institute will not relent until justice is served. In Abuja, Tokbe Alabi, NTA News.
And protection of the image and integrity of the Nigerian judiciary through efficient and prompt delivery of justice is the propelling force of the justice sector. Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekere Ekun, made the declaration in a message to second induction course for the newly appointed judicial officers of the lower court. Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary Desk reports.
The judiciary is one of the pillars of democracy and an important component of the attainment of good governance. So being called to the bench is an honor and an onerous responsibility a judicial officer is saddled with. Prompt delivery of both criminal and civil justice is the hope of the people and most often that of the common man. It is in the light of this that the elevation of this set of judicial officers is expected to enhance justice and judicial system. To achieve this, the new judicial officers must come with the willingness to serve, a drive for excellence, and an irrevocable commitment to upholding the rule of law.
I urge you to constantly remind yourselves that you have joined this profession not for the gains, but because of your passion for humanity, your ardor for the law, and a desire to see justice and equity prevail at all times and in all situations. Finally, I wish to assure you that you have joined the bench at a time where several ideas and strategies are being deployed to resolve the challenges which the judiciary has faced over time.
I urge you to see our appointment not an avenue to gratify your personal desires, but rather as an opportunity to serve and to contribute their quota to the development of the Nigerian judiciary.
In line with the theme of the induction course, all judicial officers are expected to work hard towards repositioning the courts for better justice delivery. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, Nta News.
Still talking judiciary matters, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi SAN, says combating corruption requires a unified front to advance the national anti-corruption strategy. This was at a round table which State Attorneys General organized by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission ICPC in Abuja. The report.
Constant reminder and national prayer for a blessed Nigeria. But for that to happen, there is a need for concerted efforts by all in their various endeavor. To play their part, State Attorneys General from across the country are in Abuja brainstorming to come up with a strategic initiative that will bolster the anti-corruption efforts across all tiers of government in order to promote good governance.
The issue of anti-corruption, everybody is a stakeholder. Believe me, everybody is a stakeholder. And I believe that in fighting corruption, you must bring the subnationals on board.
We must recognize that corruption is not only it's not a legal issue, but a common enemy hindering national development. I am confident that together we can forge a united front against this pervasive ill and create a brighter, more equitable future for all Nigeria.
Speakers say, as chief law officers of the states, they should be firm in discharging justice in line with the rule of law.
You are attorneys general, and you will give account. When a governor is going the wrong way, you should tell him.
If we don't fight corruption, the things we fail to do to make for a better society, the things we fail to do will undo us.
The roundtable is the first in the series organized by ICPC and is expected to be an annual gathering.
In continuation of its tour to communities across, the CART Foundation has supported the less privileged with persons with disabilities with food items and other essentials, led by the founder, Queen Halimat Tejuosho. The CART Foundation was in Kramajiji to spend time with students who had benefited a week earlier with the provisions of important school items such as books and bags, as well as the granting of scholarships. This time, it was the much-needed food items that the foundation provided to them, which they greatly appreciated.
Karimajiji is like a special place for me because we have more persons living with disabilities here. So, and you know, I have a special place in my heart for them. I've been saying this, the government cannot do all by themselves. Okay, so when you are opportune, you that you're rich, I'm not saying you should be super rich. You that you're rich and you can afford 3 square meal, please spare 1 square meal for those that cannot afford any at all. So it's not everything shouldn't be about Bola Tinubu, the administration, or the government. We as humans should also show empathy and help those that does not have. We should help the needy.
Our mommy, Dr. Ajia Alima, has been a blessing to humanity, most especially the people of Karamajiji. He has given us shelter, he has paid our children's school fees, he has given us food, and also he encouraged us to do 1 or 2 things, skill acquisition. I don't know the one I will mention, but we say thank you. Our mommy, God will bless her.
The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has distributed relief materials to victims of windstorms and fire incidents in various communities within Kogi and Lokoja local government areas of Kogi State. The Director General of NEMA, Zubaida Umar, made the presentation through the head of the operations for the Abuja Kogi office. Abdusalam Mohammed's report is here presented.
Concerns about the well-being of citizens affected by economic and environmental challenges, the federal government, through the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has provided relief materials. The initiative, supported by President Tinubu's administration, aims to assist vulnerable communities in Lokoja, Kogi Federal Constituency. NEMA's Director General emphasized the government's commitment to address citizens' needs, especially during difficult times. The agency assures the public of the provision of relief materials and household items to those in need.
We will hand over these items to the Honorable, and I know the Honorable brought it down so that you share with your brothers and sisters.
Please, I want to use this opportunity to advise our people that are staying by river banks should please leave.
The Director General thanked the member representing Lokoja Kogi Federal Constituency, Danladi Agui, for promptly reporting the situation to the authorities, ensuring relief reached those most affected. Danladi Agui commended the government and NEMA for their quick response. He assured that the relief materials will be distributed fairly and efficiently.
And I can assure you that it's going to be shared judicially. Inshallah, no matter how little it is, it will go around.
Accident in Jamatan, we are very grateful.
I'm happy, I'm very, very happy.
This relief effort brings hope to communities that have faced challenges and demonstrates the importance of swift government action in times of crisis.
And this is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Here is the recap of our top stories. NLC President Joe Ajaro has been released by the DSS after hours in detention. INEC has accredited 114 media organizations to cover Edo governorship election. Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology has taken steps to dismantle barriers against traditional medicine.
Mr. President has challenged me to commercialize our research results, and I am reviewing, and approval will soon be granted for the commercialization of our 15 products.
Federal government has intensified crackdown on illegal mining operations.
This is NTA News 24.
And FCT residents are expressing concern over increasing cases of violent crimes at numerous dark spots around the city. Toibat Anifawoshi examines this security challenge in the light of the murder of a staff of NTA by hoodlums around the city center.
37-year-old Yahuza Salisu, a staff at NTA News 24, died few weeks ago after he was attacked by hoodlums at Sahad Junction in Central area. Late Yahuza's colleague, Rose Shituisi, suffered a similar attack at the same junction many years ago. She, however, lived with a scar to tell her story.
The guy held my hand at the handbag, stabbed me. So as I was trying to, I was already angry in my spirit. So I got so angry, I knew I would have to let the bag go. So I gave him a very hot hit. Then I released my bag. He fell down through the slope. And my colleague actually helped me to stone the other guy that wanted to attack him also. So otherwise the two of them would have just, attacked me at the same time, and I never can tell what would have happened.
Now, behind me, you can see a vast space of land. And usually, the respondents we've spoken to say that this is where these hoodlums come out from. And they often target pedestrians waiting here to get vehicles, to often dispossess them of their valuables.
Considering the fact that this is a central area and the proximity of the MPF is very close around here, this is like the center of power. That should be beefed up security. This kind of thing shouldn't be happening in the Federal Capital Territory.
The issue of these miscreants, I will tell them to be carrying knife, collecting phones from people, it's becoming unbearable. They stay in bridges, see them look very haggard with sharp knife, asking you to bring out your phone, or the next thing is to declare you dead with their knife. So I share my experience at Abia House, to be specific. There are boys there, dangerous boys there. They used to come and collect phones. They did it to me, and they at about 9 o'clock, I was just passing by. They said I should give them my phone. I gave them my phone with sharp knife.
So I had my phone. The glass was winding at the passenger center, so I had my phone with me, and so one guy from under the bridge just rushed and snatched my phone. He went under the bridge again, so we made a turn to see if we can see him. So on our way making that turn, he grabbed someone else's phone again, and so it is common. Like,
what I think is the best is for them to provide more securities around this particular place.
This thing used to happen at night, but if care is not taken, it will be coming up even in the daylight. So
the police boss in the FCT says efforts have been intensified to provide security across the city.
We have activated a lot of intelligence. A lot of intelligent people on patrol. They are not patrolling on police vehicles. They are patrolling mostly private vehicles to identify those boys and deal with them accordingly. We have been dealing with them.
For Adem Mario Emmanuel, a security expert, the government has to be intentional about tackling the menace.
Mobilizing volunteers to support them to fight this crime. Firstly, under these bridges, who are these guys that stay there? Send somebody who look like them to infiltrate their means, get their full identification, know where they come from, know where they stay, then carry out the activities of arresting. Arresting at the first instance should not be at the cost of prosecution, but at the cost of venting, profiling, to know the level each person has gone in terms of the crime.
Residents are hoping that security situation improves. But for now, experts are advising that residents avoid dark and lonely areas, especially at night. In Abuja, Toyiba and Ifowoshe, NTA News.
Thank you so much, Toyiba, for that report. She said, be security conscious at all times. And that concludes the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Thank you for watching. My name is Frama Hanyi.